This is a real good story about Drew, a real United Airlines customer.
After almost 4 years of treatments, I was finally cancer-free. My mom's like, where do you want to go to celebrate? I'm like, let's go somewhere tropical. And then Pilot hopped on the intercom and started talking about me, and I was like, what is going on here?
My wife beat cancer too, and I wanted to celebrate his special moment.
That's Bill, a real United pilot.
We brought him drinks and donuts. We all signed a card.
I was smiling ear to ear. Best flight ever for sure.
That's how good leads the way.
Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one. Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one.
Hey, what does all in one mean?
The caddy, the wand, the preloaded pad. There's a cleaner in there, inside the pad.
So Clorox Toilet Wand is all I need to clean a toilet?
You don't need a bottle of solution to get into this toilet revolution. Clorox, clean feels good.
Use as directed.
Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Pauly Howard, Mark Malusis, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Follow the Money, big show coming up. Tony Farmer in half an hour, Last Man Standing podcast. $18.7 million on the line with the biggest football contest in the world. What's going to happen tomorrow? You have to play one of the three games, and only five people have Dallas available. We'll break it down with Tony coming up. Always at this time, it's the Hall of Famer, Vito's son, Sal Paolantonio, our guest, the real deal, Vito's son. Great to talk to you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you and yours. How are you, Sal, pal?
Pauly, I'm doing good. And Pauly and Mark and everybody at Follow the Money and all the listeners on VSiN on Sirius XM. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thanks for listening every week at 5 o'clock. I love being on with you guys. It's my favorite part of the week.
We have breaking news. I appreciate that. We love you. Breaking news. I can't believe this. You're telling me they flipped the script on you again and ravioli is being served tomorrow?
Yes, it is. I need Adam Schefter on the line. Absolutely. Breaking news. We went with the raviolis in Thanksgiving, and so we're doubling up. We got the raviolis. My daughter's stopping on Arthur Avenue, picked up 3 dozen raviolis, bringing them over to the house. So we're looking forward to it.
Well, anytime Arthur Avenue around the holidays, if you're not familiar with the tri-state, is as good as it gets, and they have unbelievable Italian specialties. So if you're getting ravioli from Arthur Avenue, that's not all that bad, Sal.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, when I was growing up on Long Island, we used to go to a place called Umberto's on New Hyde Park Road, which was unbelievable. Uh-huh. And then, of course, down in the Philly area, we go to 9th Street, and you can't beat it. But I would have to say Arthur Avenue is, the Italians up in the Bronx. That's where my grandpa Nick had his bar when in the 50s. So that's always going to have a soft spot in my heart for sure.
That's excellent. Phenomenal. Well, let's start with the games tomorrow. Well, this is the story of the day, Sal. We have 3 third-string quarterbacks going. Can Josh Johnson do enough against this bad Dallas defense to keep it close? Cowboys up to 8.5 now.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't. I think the Cowboys are going to roll in this game. What I saw from Josh Johnson last week and what I've seen from him in his career, it's a reason why he's bounced around the league. Nothing against the young man. He's an NFL player. I get it. But when you're rolling out Josh Johnson, it's pretty tough to do. I mean, the Commanders are home. I understand that. But I just like the Cowboys in this game a whole lot. And I got to tell you, I like the Broncos a lot.
Yeah.
I like the Broncos without a doubt. I mean, I think the Broncos are going to roll in this game. You could have a third-string quarterback with the Chiefs as well, right? So the only team, the Lions are the only favorite, really, the 1.5 favorite against the Vikings. It's a got-to-have a game for them. They're still somewhat alive in the playoff hunt.
Okay, you're going to Buffalo for the big game with the Eagles. They're off the hat and T-shirt game against Washington. What do you think the Eagles' mindset is here going against the Bills? And the Bills cannot stop anything on the ground.
Yeah, the problem with this, Pauly, this game is it's very difficult to figure out what the matchups are going to be, right? Because the Patriots play in the 1 o'clock hour. They beat the Jets. most likely at MetLife in the 1 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be snowing like crazy. Snow and sleet and, freezing rain in Buffalo throughout the game on Sunday. I'm going to be there. Unfortunately, the weather's going to be terrible. So with Josh Allen with that bad foot, I don't know how long they're going to keep him on the field. They have such a slim chance to overtake the Patriots in the division. The Pats have to lose both games and the Bills have to win both. And the Pats have an easy one in their last game. So I don't know how much we're going to see Josh Allen. Same goes for Jalen Hurts. I don't know how much we're going to see him in this football game. I really don't know how much we're going to see him. The Eagles are really stuck in the third position.
Yep.
A lot has to happen for them to move out of the third position. And they've already cashed in the big number, right? They're the only team to win their division in back-to-back years. All the other 7 divisions are crowning new champions. First NFC East title winner back-to-back in 20 years. I think, and when you look at it, right, that's how tough it is to repeat as a division champ in the National Football League right now. It's really a survival of the fittest. There's so many obstacles, potential obstacles, and you just mentioned it with all these backup quarterbacks. That's the most difficult obstacle of all. Injury to your starting quarterback. Jaden Daniels gone. Daniel Jones, Mahomes gone. Brock Purdy missed time. Love knocked out with that vicious helmet-to-helmet hit. We don't know what his status is. Lamar Jackson exits with a sore back in the middle of a must-have nationally televised game. J.J. McCarthy's got a broken right hand. Josh Allen sprained foot. Justin Herbert and Aaron Rodgers are both playing through broken bones in their left wrist and hand. C.J. Stroud, concussion, missed time, Tua benched. I mean, really, the best ticket in the postseason is having your quarterback upright. I mean, that's the big thing. So if you got Josh Allen coming off a sprayed foot and you're going to have bad weather, how much are we going to see these two quarterbacks in this game? I don't know.
That's great information.
Sal, I'm curious about when you look at when you look at Philadelphia, what's your overall take about where this Eagle team is right now as they get set to get themselves back into the postseason 3 weeks from now?
Well, Mark, there's an old saying that Bill Parcells told me when I first started covering the league back in 1995. He said, your strengths get you into the postseason. Your weaknesses get you eliminated from the postseason once you get in. And I always remember that. And the Eagles' strengths right now, I think, of the 14 teams that are on the qualifying bubble or in the playoffs right now, I think the number one unit overall is the Eagles' pass defense. It is better than any unit defensively for any team, and I think it matches up well against any passing game. The Eagles' defense, Fangio has basically stopped blitzing. He is using four to rush without Jalen Carter the last couple of weeks, by the way. Without Jalen Carter, four to rush, dropping 7 in coverage. His matchup, man-to-man, zone defense, whatever you want to call it, it's a hybrid. It's so effective because he's got 2 corners, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, going to the Pro Bowl. That's the only team that has that situation. So he's got a great secondary, 2 great linebackers. His middle linebacker, Zach Bond's going to the Pro Bowl. Jalen Carter's going to the Pro Bowl. Jordan Davis should be in the Pro Bowl. So I think the Eagles' pass defense matches up against everybody. That's their strength. What is their weakness? It's their passing game. It's too unpredictable right now. It's too inconsistent. And then the biggest problem they have is this kicker.
Yes.
Pauly, you and I are on the same page about kickers.
Yep.
Right? We always talk about kickers because the NFL is built on close games. Jake Elliott has now missed 7 field goals in 15 games.
Yep.
He missed 6 kicks in the last 5 games, including point after. And he's only attempted 24 field goals, giving him a success rate of 70.8%, lowest of his career. Pauly, the league average for field goal success in this season is 85%. He's 15% below the average. He's currently 33rd most accurate of the kickers in a league with 32 teams.
Oh, Maron. Is that why Sirianni went for 2?
Well, I don't know. I can't, it's really hard to decipher what he was saying there. I mean, you could see mathematically going for 2 was the smart play if the game was close. But the only kicker that Elliott is ahead of right now is Joshua Carty, who missed 5 of 15, and he's on the practice squad right now.
Oh, man.
And the Eagles blocked his last kick and returned it for a touchdown. That's how bad Elliott's been. So they got to figure out the Elliott situation. They don't, whether he went for 2 there or not, based on a no confidence vote in the kicker, or whether, I don't think he was trying to run up the score. That's not Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni's the son of a coach. He's not interested in running up the score. That's silly. That's just not his personality. It's not. Yeah. And by the way, they have no right to complain about what Nick Sirianni is doing. Their head coach punted or went for field goals when they had 4th and very short makeable plays.
Amen.
And how many wins they got, Pauly? How many wins they got? They got 4 wins. What are you doing? Come on. If you exercise those muscles on your offense that you haven't all year in a game that's meaningless, at least get them out there and play, right?
Yeah, great rant. I totally agree with you. How about this Saturday afternoon game? Gotta have it game. Herbert against the Texans. He's brought up what happened last year when he was terrible with all the interceptions. Chargers 1.5.
Second best unit on the field right now, anywhere in the league, is the Texans' defense overall and their pass rush. I love the Texans in this game. Love the Texans in this game.
Oh, really? All right.
Yes.
All right. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you and yours. We'll talk to you next week. You enjoy it and eat that lasagna and have a little room for cannoli too, pal.
Hey, listen, Pauly, you're the best. Mark, nice talking to you. Thanks for having me on the show. Happy holidays to everybody at VSiN and all the listeners out there. I really, it's really a privilege to be on this show every week. It really is.
Thank you, sir. Means a lot. Sal, pal. The genuine article. What do I got on Herbert? Herbert, 15-23, straight up against teams with a winning record in his career. Real or Fugazi? Coming up next with a shocker about who could be the next coach of the Giants. Follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is a real good story about Drew, a real United Airlines customer.
After almost 4 years of treatments, I was finally cancer-free. My mom's like, where do you want to go to celebrate? I'm like, let's go somewhere tropical. And then Pilot hopped on the intercom and started talking about me, and I was like, what is going on here?
My wife beat cancer too, and I wanted to celebrate his special moment.
That's Bill, a real United pilot.
We brought him drinks and donuts. We all signed a card.
I was smiling ear to ear. Best flight ever for sure.
That's how good leads the way.
Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one. Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one.
Hey, what does all in one mean?
The caddy, the wand, the preloaded pad. There's a cleaner in there, inside the pad.
So Clorox Toilet Wand is all I need to clean a toilet?
You don't need a bottle of solution to get into this toilet revolution. Clorox, clean feels good.
Use as directed.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does.
These two wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
So good. Phenomenal. A Christmas edition in a second. But first, Mark in the New York area. Making a Mad Dog out of fan. How about this? He's been asked about it twice, and he exactly hasn't shot it down. 18 years in Baltimore, a disaster this year for the Ravens. John Harbaugh, the next coach of the Giants. Is that real or fugazi?
You know, Paul, I think it's real. I mean, I do. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think if he shakes free down there in Baltimore, and he's being asked about it more and more ever since that they collapsed in the fourth quarter against New England on Sunday night.
Yep.
And I think there does come a point in time where, you know, you need a new direction, and that window is closed down there in Baltimore. The Giants are looking for, a guy to step into the room that's going to be more of a disciplinarian. I'm not necessarily saying that John Harbaugh is Bill Parcells, but been there, done that, has had success down there in Baltimore, can handle the media, can be much better with the media than Dave's was with the media or McAdoo was with the media, but also has an understanding of how to handle a team and put together a team and put together a staff. That's the other thing when you hire an established head coach in the NFL. They have an understanding of putting together a staff and the importance of putting together that staff. So, yeah, I think it's real. I mean, I think he'd be a better candidate than Mike McCarthy. When you're looking at established candidates, and John Harbaugh would move at the top of the list of the Giants.
Okay, that would be awesome. The team to bet on in the AFC, Sal Pal loves them Saturday, like 17-1. The Houston Texans, is that real or fugazi?
Paul, I think it's real. We were talking about it a little bit last night, I love this Texans team. The offense, in today's day and age of the NFL, where it's all about offense, receivers, we get into the prop bets, who's at quarterback, most important position. I'm not downplaying C.J. Stroud, but Stroud learned a little bit when he got knocked out with that concussion. Davis Mills don't necessarily need to be dominant, right? Just don't get in the way of the defense. Right? Don't go out there and provide short fields for the opponents. Don't go out there and throw pick sixes. Don't get in the way. You don't have to necessarily be superlative offensively because that's how good this defense is. And you mean to tell me now, and I understand that Allen's the best quarterback left standing when you're looking at the AFC playoff picture, but you got Bo Nix and the Broncos, Lawrence and the Jaguars. You've got Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, Allen and a questionable Bills defense. The complexion of the AFC, you mean to tell me the Houston Texans, who by far, as Sal Pal mentioned, that defense is as good as it gets as a unit of any unit in the NFL right now. They can't go out there and get themselves through the AFC. That defense travels, will give them an opportunity against any team they face in the playoffs.
Yep. The biggest competition in the East for the Knicks are the Detroit Pistons. Is that real or fugazi?
I would have said the Cavaliers before the start of this year, but I kind of think that's a little bit real. When you look at Indiana, obviously, and they've got no Halliburton. When you look at nobody buys into Philadelphia, you look at Milwaukee. Right. Milwaukee's going out there, and Giannis is batting eyes at the New York Knicks and everything that's going on. Yeah, I think it's Detroit. I honestly do. I honestly think that's real, Pauly, because I feel bad for Atkinson, the way it's gone this year for the Cavaliers, because I thought he was treated poorly by the Brooklyn Nets at the end when Kyrie and Kevin Durant basically said thanks but no thanks, and they ushered in the Jason Kidd era, which was they ushered in the Steve Nash era, which was an unmitigated disaster. But still, like Atkinson, and they had an unbelievable year last year, and clearly a little bit of a hangover this year. I thought it would be the Cavs this year, but I think it's real. I think it's the Pistons.
Would you make that trade? Mitch thought I was crazy. Would you trade for Giannis if it's Cat and OG for Giannis and I got to take the Kuzma contract?
I would not. I like this Knicks team, Pauly. I do. And I understand Cat is a guy that runs very, very hot and cold with the Knicks fan base. And, he's not the most physical big man and likes to shoot from the outside. But I think in this Mike Brown-led offense, I think he fits it a little bit more. Had a good game in a loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But listen, it's hard when you look at a star-driven league, and as good as Giannis is, it would be unbelievable to watch Giannis Antetokounmpo at Madison Square Garden night in and night out. But OG's been good. OG was a little bit perturbed by his lack of touches in a Thibodeau-led offense. He wanted the basketball more, wanted more opportunity to go out there and shoot. It became a little bit too Jalen Brunson driven offensively. But I think when you look at this group, and you got to give Mike Brown a little bit of time, I don't know if I'm necessarily, if this season ends in disappointment, I could see that pathway. But I got to give Mike Brown an opportunity with this group to see if he can get through the Eastern Conference and get to the NBA Finals.
All right. They're great offensively. That is something. I'm not going to say the NFL. They're not going to do it. Amazon, Netflix, Peacock, whoever. They're going to rethink this, putting up tons of money to get these games now in light of what's happened with the injuries and 3 third-string quarterbacks going. I feel bad for Netflix and Amazon with the games that they bought and what we have to watch tomorrow. Is that real or fugazi?
I think that's real. I mean, I think it is. But everybody, like we all say that, but everybody, Paulie, wants to be embedded in the NFL. Like the NFL just prints money. And we all love it. We all sit back. We'll complain. Yeah, the lineup tomorrow is terrible. I mean, it just is. I mean, Chiefs and Broncos. I mean, for friends and family late, I get it. You maybe put something on the line there. But still, not exactly a very entertaining football game. Maybe you're watching the Yule log on the TV, listen to a little Bing Crosby, whatever it might be in front of them. It doesn't matter. But the football is terrible. You know who's smiling today? Adam Silver in the NBA.
Yes.
Because the NBA actually has Christmas Day back because the NFL decided to step in a couple years ago and they were dominating the ratings. Well, Adam Silver in the NBA, they're like, what? You want to sit there and watch Washington and Dallas, 2 teams that have got nothing to play for with Josh Johnson at quarterback? You know what? We got Knicks and Cavs at Madison Square Garden.
I'm with you. It's a better slate. That's real. The NBA is a better slate than the NFL, as we mentioned earlier, and we'll get to it later in the show. But 238's the total in the Knicks game, 234 in the Thunder, 229 in the Warriors, 231 in the Laker game, 240 in the Denver game. These are good matchups and entertaining games, and you're going to see a lot of points.
Yeah, you are. And listen, I wouldn't tell you that overall the NBA product in the regular season is great, but when you get to Christmas Day and you get to these kind of matchups and they set them in tone, and we're not talking about injuries and we're not talking about teams being ravaged or load management or anything like that, I think if you're a fan of the association or just a fan of sports, the NBA presents a clearly more entertaining slate of games and action to have on the background as you're maybe arguing with mom and dad or whatever it might be at the Christmas table, whatever it might be. Whatever is going on, the NBA is going to have a better slate of games as compared to the National Football League. Not saying that there isn't anything on the line. You decide to, play a side or a total, or you got props going or fantasy playoffs going, whatever it might be. But in pure entertainment, competitive nature, it's clearly an association day tomorrow.
At some point, though, tonight or maybe late after the games tomorrow, you have to put Die Hard on. Real or Fugazi? Christmas movie.
That's Fugazi. That's Fugazi. Come on. I love Die Hard. Wait, that's the number one movie Pauly Howard's going to on Christmas. That's number one, not Christmas Vacation, not Elf.
No.
Die Hard. No doubt. And listen,
Hard.
I understand it's been a huge debate whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not. Like it's like a movie around Christmas. It's not exactly a Christmas movie, but I'll buy into it. But that's not my go-to movie. Like if I want to get into the holiday spirit, give me Clark Griswold and Christmas Vacation. Give me Elf. Give me those are great movies. I'll watch a little Rudolph. I'll watch a little bit of even Jim Carrey as the Grinch. I'll watch a little bit of that before I'll hop on dial.
Killing me. I had the sweater. It's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza. I had the sweat's awesome. Ho, ho, ho. Got the machine guns and everything. I forgot to wear it. Damn it. Oh, absolutely. I love it. Does Jackie Brown count? I was at the theater. It opened on Christmas. The Tarantino movie. I love Jackie Brown. It came out on Christmas.
Jackie Brown's, but that's not does that get you into the holiday spirit? When you think about Christmas or the holidays, do you think Jackie Brown?
Santa's got a brand new bag. That's how they promoted it. And I saw it in the theaters. It was good. De Niro's he's a great character. And Lewis in there. He just shoots her in the parking lot. She wouldn't shut up.
I know. You see that scene on on Twitter or Instagram all the time. People keep on going back to that scene. De Niro's amazing. He really is.
Official horse racing partner of VEASAN. First Bet, built for bettors who demand more. First Bet isn't about placing a bet. It's about helping bettors of all levels with AI handicapping tools that provide data-driven insights to help you make smarter bets. Their in-app tools give you a win, place, show probabilities for each runner. You can quickly and easily identify good value plays and improve your ROI. Take advantage of a limited time $250 sign-up offer. Claim your bonus. Use promo code VEASAN250 when you sign up in the First Bet app or at firstbet.com. Promo code VEASAN250. Very excited to talk to Tony Farmer up next. What's the plan? There are 10 left. 5 people have to use an underdog tomorrow. The hedging, the taxes. What? $18.7 million up top. Circa Survivor next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, now it gets real. Tony Farmer in studio. Last Men Standing podcast. Tony's Market Tips on X. Does a great job. He's the Adam Schefter of Circa Survivor. Does an incredible job breaking this down. Listen to the podcast. Check him out. Give him a follow. It all comes down to tomorrow. You have to play one of the 3 games. Thanks for coming in. $18.7 million on the line. You have the 3 games. The Dallas money line keeps going up, up, and up. It is officially Josh Johnson. The line is 8.5 now, minus 485 on the money line. Take us through who has what available, and you've talked to all these guys as well.
Yeah, so as you said, Pauly, 10 left. 5 have Dallas available. That's Real Bro, Kick Your Knees Up, Accorsi, Juicy K, and Caveman 6470. The rest have to take an underdog. Gary A is the only one without Washington. Remember, he's not on his Dallas list, so he has to go with either Kansas City or Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a pretty obvious choice when we look at the win probability now. So we got to expect Gary A is going to be on Minnesota. The 5 people that I mentioned before, going to be on Dallas, absolutely. And then the other 4 people do have a decision to make. They could go Washington. They could go Minnesota. Everybody has Minnesota available. What we're seeing on the board now is Minnesota, the gap between Washington and Minnesota is stretching out a little bit. So the question is, will someone be tempted to say, you know what, forget the game theory. I want to go with Minnesota because that's a better chance win probability-wise. In terms of game theory here, it's kind of like a correlated parlay.
Right.
If you take Washington, you're guaranteeing that 5 are going to lose if you win in advance. Whereas otherwise, if you do jump ship and take Minnesota, theoretically Dallas wins, and now there's 7 people left, let's say. So game theory, the better move is to stick with Washington. Win probability-wise, as it stands right now, Minnesota is slightly better. I don't think we're going to see anybody jump ship. I think it's going to be 5-4-1. That's my prediction.
Okay, interesting. Are you glass half full or glass half empty in terms of it's fair with a little bit of second guessing, or it just shows how difficult this is, and you have to use all these teams that you're stuck here with 2 weeks left, but you have to go with a dog and a third-string quarterback?
Yeah, it's a tough situation here. Nobody really saw this coming. The guy I really feel for is Gary A. How nice was that Chiefs spot 2 or 3 weeks ago, Pauly? He was set up. He could have been the only guy on Christmas with Chiefs as, say, a maybe 2-point favorite or 2.5-point favorite. But heck, a coin flip would be great to have the Chiefs at this spot. And then, I mean, he probably lost, calculate probably about $1 million in equity he lost when Mahomes gets hurt and the Chiefs lose that game. So, nobody saw this coming. And it's not just backup quarterbacks. We're looking at a third-string quarterback in Washington. So,
we were talking earlier. You made the point. Like, if you plan this out, it's like, okay, I have Daniels at home against Dallas. They can't stop anything. Maybe I'm a slight dog. Mariota, the look-ahead was 3.5. Now with Johnson, it keeps going up and 8.5 now. What are these people doing for a hedging standpoint?
Oh, my goodness. And it gets worse. I mean, the look-ahead line was 3.5 for both of these games. So you say, and it's not too bad. It's getting worse and worse and worse by the minute. And so, I guess you hedge on the money line, but it's really expensive at this point to do that. I think that's your only move, unless people are making deals with each other. You know, if you're on Dallas and you know somebody that's on Washington, maybe you make an arrangement there between someone else that's in another bracket as you, if you put it that way. So perhaps deals are happening behind the scenes. But this situation is getting worse to hedge for sure.
Okay, so that leads me, before I get to the chop talk then. So you're right about how expensive it is. Would you do 1.5 to win 300,000? Because it's like, okay, I got through, but now I'm stuck and I still have to make 2 picks.
Well, what you can't do is leave with nothing. You can't get this far and not monetize
totally
it.
agree.
So whether you're going on the marketplace to sell a piece, whether you're making a deal, whether you're doing what you just said and taking that tough money line price, you got to do something at this point. That's for sure.
Okay. Are we getting anywhere with the chop?
Certainly not before Christmas. If we're left with, 5 or so after Christmas, I could see a save type situation. I could see that being possible. I also wouldn't be shocked if it didn't happen as well. Probably 50-50 on that. I know some of the personalities in this, and I've talked to some of them, and I could see it going either way at this point.
Okay.
So to be continued on that.
Can you expand on Real Bro, who has it?
Yeah.
Who's got a great path and why you can flex and say, I feel good about my position, because he still has Jacksonville left, the only person.
Yeah.
And they would be a huge favorite Week 18 against Tennessee.
Yeah, I'd say the 2 people with the best entries right now are Real Bro, as you said, the only one that has Dallas and Jacksonville. But how about Juicy K, the only one with Dallas and New England? And New England finishes with the Jets and Dolphins. So theoretically, he could take, that gives him a lot of flexibility. He could take the Patriots Week 17 or hold them out for Week 18. And Week 17 is fascinating, Pauly. You got 8 people have the Bengals as of today, about a 7-point favorite right now at this point. But a lot of those people that have the Bengals also have the Bucs. So we could get into a situation where next week, Week 17, it's known that there's going to be most of the rest of the field on the Bengals. But do you get tempted to take, a Tampa Bay, let's say, even a Pittsburgh, I suppose, if you know you're going to be on an island in that situation? It's fascinating. And Paul, you said earlier, I was the Adam Schefter of Circa Survivor. I like to bring a little news when I come on the show.
Please, yes.
How about this one I learned recently? Someone out there on Thanksgiving morning before the games bought 10% on one of these entries. I won't say which one, but they bought 10% Thanksgiving morning before the carnage.
Get out of here.
And since sold 1%. So that person has 9% left. Person reached out to me. I reached out to the owner to be like, hey, is this legit? This really happened. The owner confirmed it. And so imagine that ride, Pauly. Thanksgiving morning, you buy a piece, and then all that carnage happens, and now you've got 9% with $18.7 million on the line.
Yeah, and you were in studio that day. Condolences to you. You had the Eagles, and that was from 900 to 45, just like that.
I'm a little less distracted today, Pauly.
Yeah, true. So you talked to all these guys.
Yep.
How about a sentence or so about how they're feeling and what they're thinking moving forward? And you're right about 17B. Also the conundrum, do I use Cincy? Do I use Tampa? They haven't covered 7 in a row. They're a mess. But how people are feeling now with all this money on the line.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of them yesterday. Pete from Parts 1 says, I'm hopeful. I also just want to remind everybody that underdogs are undefeated on special slates this year. Dallas holders should be shaking in their boots. Okay. So a little bit of humor from Pete. He's going to be on an underdog, of course. V, who I think is kind of like a fan favorite at this point because he started with only 3 entries. Very nice guy, very friendly guy, sweet man. He says, this is our biggest sweat of the season. We don't have any great options for Christmas, but we're hopeful. I've been on the edge since Black Friday, but win or lose, it'll all be over soon, and we'll be ready to play again next season. We look forward to watching my podcast. Thanks, everybody, for rooting for us. Happy holidays. Flup, who's on the underdog as well. He's going to have to be. He said, feeling sad as I was hoping it would be a Mary Mariota day. Now it's going to be a devastating Driscoll day. That was, of course, before the Josh Johnson news. I talked to him yesterday. And last one here from Real Bro, the guy that has Jacksonville and Dallas left. He's on the favorite side of things. He's going to be able to take Dallas. He says, as kids, we all dreamed about one day spending Christmas sweating our non-playoff teams with millions of dollars on the line. Our dream has finally come true. So even him in a nice position like Dallas is recognizing these are 2 non-playoff teams. Anything can happen on this Christmas day. It's going to be fascinating to watch.
Yep. What did you have a tax expert on too?
Yeah, on our show, Last Men Standing, we had a CPA on. And one of the questions I asked him that was pretty interesting was about using your hedges as write-offs. Okay. And if you're paid out in Circa Survivor in 2026, that's when you're collecting your check, you can't use a hedge in 2025 because it's 2 different years. Okay. But I said, how about this? What if it's a parlay and the second leg of the parlay cashes in January? And he said, no-go because if the first leg loses, it's going to be graded still. It's going to be graded as a loss in 2025. So I thought I had a clever way to just, throw on a minus 2,000 into that parlay so I could write it off. But he said that wasn't okay. So, yeah, if people want to check out that episode, Last Men Standing, we had him on for about 15 minutes. It was a great conversation. And the cool thing was he's not just a CPA, but he's also a Circa Survivor guy. He loves Survivor. He puts out projections on Twitter every week as well.
Well, this is great. You've thought of and covered everything. How about the other angle? What if there's a tie? And how about Circa and Derek putting this on the board? Like, what's the right number? Is it 90-1? Is it how much will they take on a tie, knowing that both teams are knocked out then?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I think it's an interesting number. 85-1-ish is what I saw. I think the likelihood of a tie is probably a lot more like 120, 150-1 or something like that. So it's not a great number. It's great of Circa to put it up. It's not a great number, but you might need to do it to cover yourself. The other thing I was thinking, sometimes, Paul, you see the overtime number, like 8-1 or 9-1.
Right.
And maybe you'd put a little tiny sprinkle on the overtime number and you could hit a middle there in overtime or something like that. Imagine that.
So what do you think happens?
I think we go 5-4-1. I think Dallas
wins?
Dallas wins, if I had to guess. And then we're left with 5. Minnesota loses. Gary loses that entry. We're left with 5 at that point headed into Week 17. It's the most likely scenario.
Okay.
But, hey, we saw what happened on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know. Great job. Promote your pod again?
Yeah, for sure. Last Men Standing at Last Men Pod on Twitter. We produce Circa Survivor content every single day, memes, strategy, all sorts of fun stuff for you guys to enjoy.
Happy holidays. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Appreciate
good job.
you.
Keep up the good work. Adam Schefter, Circa Survivor, Tony Farmer. Up next, we'll kick around a little bit with the awards with some big news. Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, talked to 30 teams and 20 GMs about the awards. You won't believe the results. That's next on Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158.
This is a real good story about Drew, a real United Airlines customer.
After almost 4 years of treatments, I was finally cancer-free. My mom's like, where do you want to go to celebrate? I'm like, let's go somewhere tropical. And then Pilot hopped on the intercom and started talking about me, and I was like, what is going on here?
My wife beat cancer too, and I wanted to celebrate his special moment.
That's Bill, a real United pilot.
We brought him drinks and donuts. We all signed a card.
I was smiling ear to ear. Best flight ever for sure.
That's how good leads the way.
Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one. Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one.
Hey, what does all in one mean?
The caddy, the wand, the preloaded pad. There's a cleaner in there, inside the pad.
So Clorox Toilet Wand is all I need to clean a toilet?
You don't need a bottle of solution to get into this toilet revolution. Clorox, clean feels good.
Use as directed.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Great job by the books. A lot of creativity and imagination with the Christmas specials. We'll make the case for a 16-1 shot coming up with the NFL triple header. Also get to the 5 NBA games as well. Pauly Howard, Mark Malusis with you. Mark, what do you think of that? I mean, $18.7 million and 10 left. Half the field has to go with an underdog.
Well, I wanted to ask you the question, Paulie, of the dogs. If you had to go with an underdog tomorrow, where are you going?
Well, I agree with what Tony said, and it's certainly unfortunate that I also agree you have to get some money off the table and lock in a profit, but the Dallas money line keeps going up, up, and up. But I just think from a game theory, and you pick up so much equity, you have to take Washington. If your choice is between Washington and Minnesota, I think you have to take Washington because if you win, you knock out 5 other people. And you, even though he's 18 years in the league or 14 different teams and 4 different professional leagues, at least Johnson has played in a lot of NFL games, and you're going against a horrible defense. I can't get there. I can't get there with Max. I just based on that Seattle game, and still Detroit needs it for their playoff lives, even though it's a lower point spread. And the numbers charts ran down about this Minnesota defense. I can't get there with Max Brosmer doing anything. It scares the hell out of me.
No, I'm with you there. Now, could you make the argument that Minnesota leaning in on Flores and that defense keeps them in the game? Brosmer, they're not asking him to do all that much, and they're able to play that game tight, or you go on the idea that, we all understand. I mean, Detroit's mathematically still alive, but they need, the odds of them making it to the postseason are quite slim. So do you lean into the idea, okay, maybe I go Minnesota based on Flores, the defense, they're home. And I understand Washington's home as well, but they're home. And Detroit is understanding that in all likelihood, they're not going to be on the outside looking in, because I don't think Green Bay is going to rip off 2 straight losses here.
Yeah. Well, Washington was in that game, and then Mariota got hurt. But also, I think we'll see if they show out for Quinn as well. The thing about, you keep mentioning the defense, and you're right, and maybe Detroit turns it over or Goff turns it over. But the case for Washington also is how bad the Dallas defense is. I mean, 14-1 over in the first half. That's one thing.
Right.
But they're second most points allowed in the league, and they have the worst pass defense in the league. That's, to me, that's the case for the dog. The other case, too, is if I try to lock in a profit, I only have to lay like $3.50 on the money line as opposed to almost $5 now.
No, that's fair. Listen, I was just presenting a little bit of a devil's advocate. I would agree with you. I think if you're going to pick a dog, it's going to be Washington. And if you're going to go that route, and based on a number of different factors and everything that you just ran through, Pauly, and, but if you go into it, you have to go into it eyes wide open with the idea that you're banking on Johnson to outduel conceivably Dak Prescott in a high-scoring football game.
Yeah.
Because, going on the idea of, in all likelihood, no, is that going to transpire? Or, you're banking on motivation, home, whatever it might be. But that's the angle there, is that Johnson's going to have himself a day. And maybe he does. I mean, we've seen stranger things. I mean, really did. Did I ever anticipate the Raiders playing to within a field goal of the Houston Texans last weekend? I didn't. And they were a 14.5-point dog. So we've seen odd results this year. Rams losing on the road in Carolina. Maybe a strange oddity happens early tomorrow afternoon.
So this was interesting today, and I want your thoughts on this. Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, talked to 30 teams and 21 GMs and wanted its annual poll. Who would you vote for with these awards? And we saw movement today based on that, and some big movement. Number 1, MVP. How about this? Stafford in a blowout. He moved to 360 to win the MVP at DraftKings. DraftKings, FanDuel, Will Caesar, wherever you want to look. But I'm looking at DraftKings. Stafford now minus 360. 18 people went with Stafford, 5 Drake May, 4 Josh Allen.
Well, how do you get to Allen?
I don't know. 4. Come on.
How do 4 executives look at it and say, well, I'm going to vote for Josh Allen to be the MVP of the league? I mean, he has not had that kind of year. They beat the Browns on Sunday. I think he threw for 130 yards. Yes. I mean, the MVP of the game was James Cook. How do you get to Josh Allen? So that to me doesn't make any sense. May's an interesting one, but it's really not I'll give you one. How about, if you're going to make an argument for Drake May or if Josh Allen, how do you not vote for Trevor Lawrence, the kind of year that he's had down in Jacksonville with the Jaguars? Yeah. And Liam Cohen basically has turned the key and found the player that we all envisioned Trevor Lawrence was going to be. He's on an unbelievable run where I don't think in his last 4 games he's thrown an interception. So he's taking care of the football. I understand that making great use of weapons. Jacoby Myers has been a huge asset down there, and they're playing well in all 3 phases. I could make a better argument for Trevor Lawrence, although I think Stafford's the deserved favorite than I could for Josh Allen. Josh Allen has for 4 executives to throw him into the mix makes little to no sense.
All right, this is where it gets wild, too. Offensive Player of the Year. Another blowout. JSN, 15. How about this? Stafford second with 6. JSN minus 180. Puka, the second choice, got 1 vote. He's plus 165. He got 1 vote. The same as Taylor. James Cook got more. James Cook got 2. Bijan Robinson got 2. Puka 1.
See, I think JSN is the offensive player of the year, but why no love for McCaffrey?
He's had an incredible year. I know he's the 3rd choice at 9-1.
He's had an incredible year. They haven't had their number 1 wideout the entire season. He's had 2 different starting quarterbacks. He's had the offensive line's been a state of flux all season. And yet he goes out there each and every week, whether it be running or receiving, and he provides production for Kyle Shanahan. And I'm not saying it's the best year that he's ever had, but McCaffrey has obviously been the gasoline to that engine when you're looking at the 49ers offense. And as we talked about a little bit earlier in the show, I mean, San Francisco offensively, when they get to the postseason, I mean, they're a forgotten about team, but that offense can go out there and score against anybody. The question is, defensively, is Robert Saleh going to have enough bodies to be able to stop anyone?
Offensive Rookie of the Year, McMillan, minus 320 at DraftKings. Shuck, 4-1 the second choice. McMillan, 17 first-place votes. Warren, 3. Egbuka, 2. Shuck, 1.5. Yet Shuck is the second choice, 4-1. 1.5.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And this looked like early on that Egbuka down in Tampa was going to be the runaway winner in terms of the offensive rookie of the year. And then he cooled off. We talked about a little bit earlier in the show, the concussion for Travion Henderson up there in New England with the Patriots. But I think as Shuck continues to move along here, there's going to be more and more love for him. Now, the issue that he has in terms of this marketplace is that Ted McMillan's been the go-to guy for Young down in Carolina. And Carolina, potentially, if they get a victory against the Buccaneers in Week 18, they're going to punch their ticket to the postseason.
Coach of the Year, Vrabel's $1.10. Mike McDonald plus 330. Shanahan plus 330. Ben Johnson, 650. Liam Cohen plus 750. Mike Vrabel, 13 votes. Ben Johnson, 6. Cohen got 4. Shanahan, 3.5. This is what Mitch was saying earlier in the week. You know, Seattle did win 10 games last year. McDonald, 2.5. Second choice, but no love for McDonald, only 2.5.
No love for McDonald. And you're right. It wasn't like they were dreadful a year ago. I think probably people are surprised that Sam Darnold's having the kind of year that he's having without being a part of Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings and that quarterback tree. I think Shanahan deserves a little bit of love. Here's the concern or the issue that I have is that why the separation between Vrabel and Johnson? And this is where Johnson does get a little bit of shade because people are looking at it and saying, well, Chicago, what they're doing is not necessarily real. Well, Vrabel's also been the beneficiary of having a super easy schedule up there in New England. Now, did I think the Patriots would be this? No, I didn't. And I think the fact that they're leading the AFC East, they've 1-1 against the Buffalo Bills during the course of the regular season, but that victory up in Orchard Park was kind of the statement victory for the Patriots this season. That's why Vrabel, I just don't think there should be among executives the separation between Vrabel and Ben Johnson.
I totally agree with that. So this is, again, he talked to 30 teams and 21 GMs. Those are his results in his polling for the awards. Interesting. Stafford in a blowout, JSN comfortably, McMillan in a blowout, Vrabel comfortably as well. I can't believe Puka got 1 for Offensive Player of the Year. What happens if you're in an accident this time of year and the other driver doesn't have insurance or nowhere near enough? Suddenly those holiday plans take a back seat to medical bills, car repairs, and missed work. That's where Lasso Injury Law steps in. They know the ins and outs of uninsured and underinsured motorist claims, and they fight to make sure you're not left paying for someone else's mistake. If the worst ever happens, you're not alone. Lasso Injury Law here to protect you and your family when you need it most. 702-625-8777. Free consultation, no voicemail, no runaround. Real people ready to help. Lasso Injury Law. They fight for you because your future matters. Visit lassoinjurylaw.com or call 702-625-8777. He's the real deal. Paul Al Lasso, if you're in a jam, he is the man. Up next, the triple header in the NFL, creativity from the books. We'll go over a ton of props and we'll make the case for a 16-1 shot coming up next. VSiN, Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158, live from Circa.
This is a real good story about Drew, a real United Airlines customer.
After almost 4 years of treatments, I was finally cancer-free. My mom's like, where do you want to go to celebrate? I'm like, let's go somewhere tropical. And then Pilot hopped on the intercom and started talking about me, and I was like, what is going on here?
My wife beat cancer too, and I wanted to celebrate his special moment.
That's Bill, a real United pilot.
We brought him drinks and donuts. We all signed a card.
I was smiling ear to ear. Best flight ever for sure.
That's how good leads the way.
Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one. Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one.
Hey, what does all in one mean?
The caddy, the wand, the preloaded pad. There's a cleaner in there, inside the pad.
So Clorox Toilet Wand is all I need to clean a toilet?
You don't need a bottle of solution to get into this toilet revolution. Clorox, clean feels good.
Use as directed.